What if I told you that there is a fish that, every time it is seen, brings with it tragedies and is an omen for the end of the world, and that there are references to it in the Bible? The emergence of a fish species with a rather suggestive popular name, the fish of the end of the world, is causing a stir on social media and generating news in various media outlets worldwide. The appearance of this animal is historically linked to natural disasters, especially earthquakes and tsunamis, but also atmospheric events such as tornadoes and hurricanes. Usually, incidents involving this species are isolated, but they are becoming more frequent and widespread, which could indicate that something significant is on the horizon. In today's video, we will tell you everything we know about this animal and its possible connection to natural disasters. We will present the latest events related to it and what this sudden increase in sightings around the world might mean for us. The oarfish, as it is also known, lives in saline waters and can be found in virtually all regions of the world, except in the extremely cold waters of the poles. In fact, perhaps the word "found" is not the best to use in this context because this species inhabits the depths of the oceans, at least 100 meters deep. Therefore, interaction between oarfish and humans is practically non-existent, and we only see them when something is not going well. Even though there are currently devices that allow us to travel to such depths, it is not done as frequently as one might imagine because, besides being expensive and laborious, these expeditions are extremely dangerous. Humans did not evolve to adapt well to high-pressure environments. In fact, we are also not experts at creating devices that allow us to be in these environments practically and safely. This is why you might hear that it is easier to launch a rocket into space than to reach the deepest point of the oceans, something we have done very few times and under experimental conditions. For these and other reasons, most of the seabed remains a mystery to us, including the oarfish. For most of our history, there were no records of its existence, at least none that have reached us. This only changed from the 15th century onwards when encounters began to be documented. The first image of this animal was only published in 1860, based on a drawing made when a specimen was found dead on a beach belonging to the Bermuda Archipelago. At the time, it was described as a sea serpent and even associated with Leviathan, a type of Demiathan, a type of demon described in the Old Testament as the personification of our sins and inhabiting the ocean depths. But despite its exotic appearance, the oarfish poses no threat to us, especially since it is usually dead when sighted, as its structure is adapted to live in conditions very different from ours. So, how did it gain this reputation as the fish of the end of the world? It turns out that almost every time it appears, the region where it showed up is hit by some type of natural disaster, especially earthquakes and tsunamis. This happened in the Bermuda Archipelago, for example, according to the reports we found. If it were an isolated case, we might believe it was just a coincidence, but that was not the case. The oarfish began to be seen on several occasions when a major event like this was about to happen, playing the role of announcing bad news. Perhaps the most significant example is the great earthquake that struck Japan in 2011. On March 11 of that year, a massive earthquake affected the eastern part of the country, becoming the largest incident ever recorded there. The epicenter was 130 km from the coast and 25 km below the seabed. Even so, it was capable of producing a magnitude 9.1 earthquake and even pushed the island about 2.5 meters. Such was the impact. For you to more quickly and easily understand all these signs, we are facing difficult times when prophecies are being fulfilled, but many do not realize what is happening around the world. For this reason, I decided to offer all channel subscribers a free digital ebook, The Secret Behind the Holy Bible, so you can download it immediately. The link is in the first pinned comment. In this book, I reveal all the secrets of biblical prophecies that will shock you. Don't waste time. Click on the first pinned comment because we have only a few copies available, and it will soon be taken down. Japan is considered one of the most prepared countries in the world for such phenomena. But even so, the damage was surprising, especially since, in addition to the earthquake, its territory was hit by a tsunami with waves up to 6 meters high, sweeping away much of the coastal cities. Probably the most serious consequence, which became internationally known, was the nuclear accident at the Fukushima plant. The station closest to the epicenter had 3 reactors active during the disaster. When the area was hit by the tremor, the reactors were automatically shut down, as there was already a safety system that anticipated such a situation. The big problem was the tsunami that followed. The waves destroyed much of the security structure on site, causing a large explosion followed by a radioactive material leak that contaminated much of the country. The incident was considered the biggest since Chernobyl in the 1980s. But what is interesting for us, for the purpose of our video, is that about 20 oarfish were seen off the coast of Japan shortly before the catastrophe began. No wonder they became known there as messengers of the sea god's palace, as they were considered sent by this god to warn about what was to come, something belonging to that culture. But apparently, this is not exclusive to them, because the fish of the end of the world was also seen in Chile in 2022, and less than 24 hours later, the region suffered an earthquake. Fortunately, this case was not severe. The earthquake reached a magnitude of 4.7, and its epicenter was located 48 km from the city of Valparaiso at a depth of 21 km. The event did not cause major damage or casualties. The same cannot be said about the incident in Taiwan that happened recently. It was the worst tremor in 25 years, enough to leave 9 dead and more than 800 injured. The main shock reached 7.5 on the Richter scale, but there were several others, slightly smaller, but just as destructive. And what was seen on the country's beaches shortly before the disaster? Exactly, an oarfish. After all this, many people began to present theories attempting to explain, from a rational point of view, why these animals appear in these locations shortly before these phenomena occur. Most of these theories argue that, as this species inhabits very deep regions, they can sense the tremor coming and thus become disoriented or flee to the surface to try to escape. But none of this has been scientifically confirmed. So far, we know that this species can reach up to 17 meters in length and weigh up to 200 kg, making it one of the longest we know. Additionally, despite its shape, it spends most of its time floating vertically, which, along with its mirrored color, helps it camouflage and also aids in its feeding, as it is a filter feeding, feeder, and feeds on small organisms known as plankton. But, as we said, it is still very difficult to study these beings, as their habitat being so far from us still creates a hard-to-overcome barrier, especially since no commercial value has been found in them, as their body is gelatinous and their meat is not suitable for human consumption. However, science has made an advance that may explain the increase in these animals' appearances. Besides the cases we mentioned, the oarfish has also been seen in the Gulf of Mexico, Vietnam, the United States, the Philippines, and other places. Something that caught attention and provoked fear, of course, as many believed it could be a bad omen, and that something bad was about to happen. In reality, something is happening, but the oarfish has nothing to do with it. We do. It turns out that this species is extremely sensitive, and small changes in its environment are enough to affect them. But as soon as they leave their original habitat, they perish easily, just as we would if we tried to dive 1,000 meters deep without proper protection. In several recently found animals, plastic particles were discovered in their stomachs, ingested unintentionally, along with other human traces that managed to reach even the most remote places on our planet. Additionally, climate change and other impacts caused by us are altering various ecosystems, directly affecting oarfish and many other marine and terrestrial species. Indeed, warming waters, melting polar ice caps, and changes in natural phenomena such as El Niño and La Nina are just some examples of what human actions can cause in nature, especially in the seas, which is what concerns us at this moment. It is much more likely that this is what is affecting the oarfish, especially since there are already several records where divers were able to find them still alive, even if lost and disoriented, and no natural catastrophe followed. Perhaps this is not the species that announces the end of the world, but rather us, the only rational animals who continue to act without properly using reason. Until when? To better understand the historical context and biology of the oarfish, it is interesting to explore its unique characteristics and its presence in various cultures. This fish, scientifically known as Regalicus glesni, is the largest bony fish in the world. The species can be found at depths ranging from 200 to 1,000 meters, explaining why it is rarely seen at the surface. Its elongated serpentine appearance, combined with a red crest, makes it an impressive and sometimes frightening sight for those lucky or unlucky enough to encounter it. Historically, the presence of the oarfish on coasts has been documented in various cultures around the world. In Japanese mythology, the oarfish is considered a yokai, spirit, and is known as Ryūgyū no Tsukai, which translates to messenger of the sea god's palace. It is believed that its appearance warns of imminent tsunamis and earthquakes. This belief is so ingrained that after the devastating Tohoku earthquake and tsunami in 2011, which killed over 15,000 people, there was a significant increase in reported sightings of oarfish in the region. However, modern science offers a different perspective. Some researchers suggest that oarfish may be affected by changes in seabed conditions, such as seismic activity, which disorients them and causes them to swim to the surface. This theory is supported by observations that many deep-sea fish, not just oarfish, tend to appear in shallow waters after underwater earthquakes. Scientific studies have shown that fish and other marine animals have natural sensors to detect vibrations and changes in water pressure, which could explain their rise to the surface before seismic events. However, it is important to note that these are hypotheses, and much research is still needed to confirm these theories.
Before continuing the video, an important message: don't forget to get your copy of our book. It's in the first pinned comment of this video. The recent increase in oarfish sightings may also be related to other environmental factors. Marine pollution, especially plastic pollution, has a devastating impact on marine species. In several recently found oarfish, plastic particles were discovered in their stomachs, suggesting that contamination may be contributing to their disorientation and mortality. Additionally, climate change is affecting temperature patterns and ocean currents, which may be disrupting these fish's natural habitats. The warming of ocean waters may be forcing oarfish to seek new habitats or venture into areas where they are more likely to be seen by humans. Another interesting point to consider is technology and how it has allowed us to have more encounters with these deep-sea creatures. With advances in underwater exploration technology, such as underwater drones and deep-sea cameras, we are discovering more about the ocean's depths and the creatures that inhabit these remote regions. These technologies have allowed scientists and explorers to document species that were previously only legends or rarely seen. Underwater expeditions can now reach greater depths and stay submerged for longer periods, increasing our chances of observing and studying oarfish in their natural habitat. Moreover, the dissemination of information through social media and other media platforms has increased public awareness of oarfish sightings. When an oarfish is found on a beach or captured by fishermen, images and videos quickly go viral, spreading information and generating curiosity and speculation about the meaning of these encounters. This media phenomenon can amplify the perception that sightings are becoming more frequent, even if, statistically, this may not be the case. Returning to the history of the oarfish, the earliest records of its existence date back to the 15th century, when encounters began to be documented by explorers and sailors. Since then, science has strived to better understand this enigmatic creature. In 1860, the first illustration of the oarfish was published after a specimen was found in Bermuda, generating great interest and speculation in the scientific community. However, the true scientific understanding of the oarfish only began to develop in the 20th century with advances in marine biology and underwater exploration technology. Today, we know that the oarfish is a member of the Regalicidae family and that its body is adapted to life at great depths. Its bone and muscle structure allows it to swim vertically, a unique characteristic among fish. The oarfish also plays an important role in various cultures around the world. In Hawaiian culture, for example, the oarfish is called lua, and its appearance is seen as a sign that the gods are dissatisfied. In Scandinavian mythology, the oarfish was associated with the legendary Jormungandr, the sea serpent that circles the world and, according to legend, will trigger the end of the world when it emerges from the depths. These cultural and mythological associations highlight the symbolic importance of the oarfish and how it is seen as an omen of significant events. However, while folklore and mythology provide a fascinating perspective, it is crucial that we continue to investigate scientifically to better understand the behavior and habitat of the oarfish. Ongoing research into the biology and ecology of the oarfish not only helps us unravel the mysteries of this species, but also offers valuable insights into the health of marine ecosystems. Just as the ancients saw the oarfish as a sign from the gods, we can find parallels in religious texts like the Psalms of the Bible. In Psalm 104:25-26, there is a reference to Leviathan. There is the sea, vast and spacious, teeming with creatures beyond number, living things both large and small. There the ships go to and fro, and Leviathan, which you formed to frolic there. This passage illustrates the ancient reverence and mystery associated with sea creatures, seen as part of divine creation and often as omens of great events. The oarfish, with its majestic appearance and enigmatic behavior, can be seen as a reminder of the power and unpredictability of nature, as described in the Psalms. In summary, the oarfish is a fascinating creature that captures the imagination of people around the world. Its rare appearances at the surface are often seen as omens of natural disasters, but modern science is beginning to unravel the reasons behind these sightings. Whether due to seismic activity, marine pollution, or climate change, the presence of the oarfish reminds us of the complexity and interconnectedness of marine ecosystems and the need to protect our oceans. As we continue to explore the ocean depths, who knows what other mysteries and creatures await discovery? Continued research and exploration are essential to better understand these incredible creatures and the signals they may give us about our planet's health. By combining traditional methods and cutting-edge technology, we are increasingly able to uncover the secrets of the ocean depths. This quest for knowledge not only satisfies our natural curiosity, but also plays a crucial role in conserving and protecting delicate marine ecosystems. With this in mind, it is imperative that we continue to invest in marine science and technology to ensure that future generations can appreciate and understand the wonders of the oceans as much as we do. The oarfish, with its impressive appearance and rich cultural associations, remains a powerful symbol of the ocean's mystery and majesty. Its rare appearances at the surface serve as a reminder of how much we still have to learn about the underwater world and how our actions can profoundly and often unpredictably affect the balance of these complex ecosystems. By expanding our knowledge and understanding, we can not only protect these incredible creatures, but also ensure the health and sustainability of the oceans for future generations. Thus, while some see the oarfish as an omen of disasters, it is more likely that we humans are responsible for these appearances due to the impact we have on the oceans. It is a reminder that we must take better care of our planet, as our actions have deep and often unpredictable consequences on nature. Don't forget to download our book, The Secret Behind Biblical Prophecies. Over 500,000 copies have been sold, and we are in the last units, so don't waste time and take advantage. I guarantee you will gain a lot of knowledge after reading this sensational book, made with much care and love for all our channel subscribers, totally based on the Holy Bible. The link is in the first pinned comment. If these deep reflections on future events and the importance of maintaining faith have impacted you, don't forget to subscribe to the channel to continue receiving content that explores essential themes of spiritual and prophetic life. By subscribing, you will connect to a community that values the truth of God's Word and seeks to understand the signs of the times. In this channel, our goal is not only to inform but also to edify and strengthen your faith. Here, you will find detailed analyses of the scriptures, clear explanations of biblical prophecies, and a Christ-centered approach to understanding what is happening in the world around us. Additionally, by subscribing, you will receive notifications whenever a new video is published, ensuring that you won't miss any content relevant to your spiritual journey. We believe that spiritual preparation is essential in these times, and this channel is a valuable resource for those who wish to deepen their knowledge of the Word and be prepared for future challenges. Therefore, don't waste time. Subscribe now, activate notifications, and join us on this journey of discovery and spiritual growth. Click the subscription button below and become part of this community that seeks to live according to God's will and prepare for the times to come. We look forward to having you with us.